pray for us right now, that will be good.
Well, it's 11 o'clock. Shall I pray for the meeting?
Yes,
Sure.
sir.
Yes.
Yeah, I think maybe, yeah, you
Yeah.
go, I mean, you decide. You can wait or maybe.
Let's go.
Okay.
Oh, dearly beloved Father, Mother, Divine Presence, we gather together to present and discuss the center that you have given us. This is our congregation. This is our board of trustees. We pledge to listen generously to one another and speak kindly to one another. Let us take that pledge. Listen generously and speak kindly to one another as we offer our reports, as we ask our questions, as we go ahead to understand and appreciate the center that you have given us. This is our most heartfelt prayer, that you be with us in this time and that we feel your presence. Om Hari Om. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai.
Thank you for the wonderful prayer, brother. I don't see Sujata and Naveen. Yeah, oh, Naveen is there. And
I am here, Sharish.
yeah, I can see you. But I don't see Sujata, who will need to actually start the meeting with reading the minutes of meeting for the last year.
Right.
But I think we can defer that and we can go ahead because there are so many people who are logged in. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for dialing in. This is our second virtual meeting. I welcome you all on behalf of Vedanta Center to our annual meeting of 2021. And I will quickly read the agenda for the meeting and then we will just follow that. There Sujata ji is there. Okay, perfect. So Brother Shankar will offer an opening period. He just did that. Sujata Dhanbalan, Secretary, will read minutes of meeting for last year's annual meeting. Shailesh Pawar, President, will offer President's report. Naveen Tyagi, Treasurer, will offer Treasurer's report. Cindy Craven will offer a brief report from the Communications Committee. Elizabeth Yates will offer brief report on maintenance work, whatever is done at the center. And Brother Shankaravan then will offer his resident minister's report and vision for the center, and then we'll have a discussion there. And then we'll have a board of trustees election, and Tom Couch will offer the slate, and we'll discuss the election situation. And after that, we will have discussion about the slate offer and any other thoughts anybody would like to share. And then Brother Shankar will offer closing prayer, and then the meeting will adjourn. So I request Sujata ji to read minutes of meeting from the last year annual meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
2020 annual meeting of the congregation, May 17, 2020 at 11:15 a.m. Brother Shankara offered an opening prayer. Shailesh Pawar, board president, offered the president's report in which he thanked volunteers for their efforts and listed the year's speakers. Ryan New Collins, secretary, read the minutes of the 2019 annual meeting. Naveen Tyagi, treasurer, offered the treasurer's report, which will be included or attached to the e-newsletter. Brother Shankara offered a communications committee report in which he cited increased Facebook followers and increased subscribers to the newsletter. Board of Trustees election. Tom Couch offered the following slate for election to the Board of Trustees for 2020 to 2021. Tom Couch, Pranab Larry, Shailesh Pawar, Nina Gazeta, and Balakrishna Noli to be re-elected as trustees for 1 year. Elizabeth Yates and Naveen Tyagi to continue for 2 years. while new members Cindy Craven and Sujata Dhanabalan were elected for 3-year terms. Sharmila Shetty and Ryan New Collins completed their 3-year tenures and chose not to reapply. A motion was made and seconded to elect the slate. The slate was passed by oral vote. Brother Shankara offered the resident minister's report, in which he reaffirmed the center's goal of supporting realization through its veneration of saints from all traditions and its teachings centered on the 4 yogas. He also voiced appreciation for the Zoom meetings, which he hopes the center will continue airing even after coronavirus has waned and the center has reopened to physical meetings. The meeting is open to questions and answers, in which a member proposes that devotees periodically prepare a Sunday presentation, such as spiritual music or performances. Brother Shankara and Shailesh support the proposal, but ask that it be backed by a specific plan that also includes supporting members. At 12:10 p.m., Brother Shankara offered the concluding prayer. At 12:13 p.m., the meeting was adjourned.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Sujata. Very nice.
Thank you.
Very well documented. So namaste, everybody. I will start with my president's report. I would like to start with introduction of the board members. And what the board does is, as you know, Brother Shankar is our spiritual minister and spiritual head. The board looks at the administration part and the finance part, and we all work together so that the center can look at the current issues and resolve any issues coming together and take the center forward. So, all the board members, to just raise your hand. Usually we used to request to stand up, but Tom Couch, Vice President Pranab Lahari, Vice President, he is not here today. Sujata Dhanmalun, Secretary. Navin Tyagi, Treasurer. Nina Guzeta, she's an officer, she's not here today. Elizabeth Yates and Balkrishna Nuli, both officers. So I thank personally to all the board members, because these are voluntary positions, for taking time out and providing the service to the center. And more so to Treasurer Navin and Sujata, because they spend more time, they do the heavy lifting kind of, I would say. I would like to thank all the volunteers who help the center. Thanking it, we have to formally thank all. We all do serve the center for our own spiritual upliftment, but it's a part of the formally recognizing their efforts. So I would like to thank all the volunteers who help the center in setting up various events like puja or monthly events like Seva Saturdays. I know we had some Seva Saturdays last year, like January or February. I attended one of them. So, but after that we did not have. But now soon we will having that. So I would like to thank all those. I would like to thank Aditya for performing a puja. Wonderful pujas. We all have dialed in and attended all the pujas, and it's been very well organized. And I would like to thank whoever I saw on the screen. I'm trying to thank them: Shubhraji, Sundar, Niranjan, and Rita ji for being there and supporting Brother Shankara and Aditya to set up the puja, and also Cindy to set up the live event and taking care of it over the Zoom and everything. I would like to thank Rita ji for performing Chandi and Ramnam. I attended one service of Ramnam, and I think she has taken over. And I see her messages coming in, so I would like to thank her. I would like to thank Cindy for maintaining our center's website and all doing all the audio recordings and the newsletter. It gets published, and Brother Shankara works with her, but it's really nice that it's reaching so many people. And then creating all the Zoom sessions and putting it on YouTube, which is very nice. So I would like to thank Cindy, and she will have a small report to present. Finally, I would like to thank Brother Shankara for being our spiritual head and organizing all the activities like talks and the classes he organizes, compiling the newsletter. Like I said, it's been reaching to so many people, and that I think has been main source of to reach people out. right now, because not everybody will dial in and look at the same time, but the newsletters just go out. And Swamiji, Yogeshanandaji did a very wonderful job of starting the provisions, he used to call them back then. And then Brother Shankar has taken over wonderfully and reaches so many people. And I would also like to thank Brother Shankara for, providing spiritual counseling. And I attend one of the classes on Tuesday and I really enjoy it. And, we have classes on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday we have another class, and Sunday, of course, we have his talk. So I would like to thank him for coming up with different topics and different books and discussions. I personally like it, and I would request you all, including the board members, to attend the classes whenever they can. You can just mute your mic and not enable your video, but you can just still be there. If you're still busy, you can just go ahead and you can just listen to what's going on, just being part of it, having satsang. So that is what something which helps me to uplift. And we have all our other engagements, but I think being connected to the center right now, at least, is through this via Zoom classes, and actually it's much easier now than driving all the way, at least for me. um, we usually have Swamijis attending, so we did not have any guest speakers coming in and staying, but we had several speakers who came and spoke through over the Zoom. So I would like to thank all, sincere gratitude I have towards all the speakers uh, who spoke on behalf of the center. And most importantly, I would like to thank all the donors who have kept our center in their prayers and their thoughts and been generous um, towards donating our center. Then that's the reason why we are going forward, and the center has been taken care of. And I think Navin will provide a report now, and you can see that the donations are way up there where we used to have. So the pandemic is, incidentally, I would say, not directly affected much, but I may be wrong, but that's what my understanding is. So I would like to request Navin, our treasurer, to provide the treasurer's report. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shailesh. Very nice.
Hari Om. Thank you, Shailesh. Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.
Shailesh did include, and I would like to again second that, because the donors, silent donors of this center are the main backbone who are keeping this center running. And to me, it becomes, that's what my job is, to keep account how much is coming and how much is going out. So I really, from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of the board and the center, thank all of them who are attending the meeting here and who are not attending the meeting. They can always get the vibrations. With all that, I will start presenting the financial state of the center. So I would I will ask Cindy to share a management report. Cindy, yes, if we scroll down on that. This is the report which comes out of the QuickBooks as it is. I would like to go item by item here. It may sound like just numbers, but if you are interested, you can pay attention that this, in the beginning, there's a revenue part, and then it starts the expenditure. So we will have an idea how much we collected and how much we spent in the year. Financial year for the center starts from November 1st to October 31st so forth. That's why this report is up to October 31st of 2020. So in that, the donations part, those are the donations which is showing, you see the 1696 showing, which are probably just the anonymous, so we don't know who sent them, mostly cash. The main last year, if you remember, we had a project going and we asked for people to donate specifically for that project. That was the kitchen project. I know some of you had seen before our lockdown started in March, and most of you might have not seen. So when we start again in July, you would be happy to see a renovated kitchen part where we spent a lot of money. So in kitchen project specific purposes, we collected $14,090 from the donors. We have a retreat house contributions. From there, we collected $11,779.56. So the total contributions this way came 25,869. Then general donation are the donations which we get through the checks for the center ongoing for the center services provided. So there was 18,563. So the total donations we collected was 46,129. There was some refunds from the insurance. We canceled the car insurance last year. So that those things were, yeah, thank you. Refunds were there. And so the total revenue became 47,061. So this is what we had in the pocket to run the center. Then expenditures go, if we see the automobile expense, you see, which is the last time you will not see anymore. Last year we spent 766. Then it's showing bank service charges here because one time bank did some, it gave us extra 300, which went into donation. And then we reimbursed that money to bank. So that's why it shows up in the service charge, 300. Bookstore items, we spent 447, flowers 870. And then there is a household expenses, keeping the monastery, 2,400 for the cleaning, miscellaneous 694, pest control 550. So the total household expenses are 3,644. Insurance expenses for both our building and these expenses are 3,717.93. Landscaping was 1,692. Meals and Seva volunteers when we used to do on the Seva before lockdown, 295 goes there. And then we have office expenses includes computers and internet expenses. Under that comes the application subscription and cost, which includes QuickBook subscription and all the Zoom subscription or whatever we pay to use the services for internet and computer based. So that was $599. Hardware, it shows here this year $449.50 because we had bought some equipments at the time thinking that we will be directly broadcasting on YouTube our live ceremony or live classes from the shrine, which we did, I think, for 1 or 2 months before lockdown. Internet services is our internet expenses to have internet in the center, which is 2,270. Then come the web services, communications, 6,184. So total web service, same 6,184. Total computer internet expenses comes to 9,504. Yes. Yes.
I don't understand the web services communication, $6,000. What's that?
Okay, 6,000. That is for maintaining our monthly, Shailesh mentions, Cindy maintains all that, everything which from the Zoom, which end up in the YouTube or previously
Okay,
from
okay.
all the recordings from the sound previously used to do. Cindy has been providing those services.
Okay,
That is the expense under communications.
okay, I understand. Thank you.
Could I just request that people save their questions until the end of the report rather than interrupting Naveen in the middle?
Thank you, Pillar. So total computer internet expenses, we go 9,500. After that, we have some in stationery and off. So comes down stationery and printing and whatever. So total comes down to office expenses, 10,756. Then we have some other expenses, postage delivery. So bottom line, if we go down, property taxes are the annual property taxes to the county. Repairs and maintenance is 4,256. All those are the building repair maintenances. I think we did some lot of work in the cellar last year. That was a big ticket item. There was a one tree taken down, not tree taken down, but I think it fell down and then we called arbor to take off that. So that was 900 something expense for that. So that included total 4,000. Sales tax we paid for the books was 143. And there was one-time airfare. I think some of the Swamijis came or something. And then the utilities, the total utilities, electric, gas, and water, you can say, going a big another item, 6,366. Workshop lectures, that was one time we had a workshop, paid for that, 200. So total expenditure came out 34,611. Now here we see net operating revenue. It looks like 12,450. But I want to remind that in this expenditure, you have not seen the money spent on kitchen. On revenue, you had seen the money collected for the kitchen, but expenditure does not show here because all that become an asset for the center. So that money, the expenditures goes into the asset. If that money we take out here, our net revenue will not be this much. In next slide, I will discuss that, how much we spent, and from the net operating, then how much we were plus or minus for this year. So just hold on that thought here. Bookstore, we collecting separate here just to keep an account on that. So 16465, and then bookstore expenses. I think this was something paid for the books. So the book sales were showing 350. And there was one dividend came here. There was one about, this was one of the dividends we get from BP. Probably that will stop next year. Other revenue was 363. That may be another like donations, probably cash. Net revenue came out 12,813. This comes down to net revenue. But if we go to the next slide to see how much we were, this is just a breakdown, vendor by vendor. I'm not really sure that will be of interest in this meeting. Cindy, if we can have another Excel file for which is kitchen project. Here you go. So this is the kitchen project. You see on the left are the money received, 14,090. And on this second table on the right is all the vendors we paid, how much and what date, and everything is here. If you see the total amount ended up for to $18,806.14. So collection was 1490, expense was 18,806. So you see general fund, this remaining 4,716 came from the previous savings of the center. So what revenue over there showed up was 12,000. From that 12,000, we extra had to take from the previous collections for 4,000. Graphically, you can, it's more, without going to the number on the right, you can see the contributions and expenses. Expenses are much more. If we're going to go to the third slide, Cindy, that will give us a net picture of the center, what we are today, after taking into account the net revenue and expenditure of things. Yeah, this is showing the cash flow of the Vedanta Center. I used the same last year, which I presented, is showing up in the November 18, October 19 column. And the column C is for this year, which I'm presenting 19 to 20. So you see the net revenue came 12,813, which I mentioned in my report. But then the adjustment to reconcile the net revenue to net cash, because that 18,000 went into assets and was not showing up. But as a cash value, we were down actually $5,992. The cash in the beginning here, last year, we started with 13, ended up at 15. So this year we started with 15,859, and we ended up with 9,866. That's where rest of the money, the kitchen project I was saying, we took from the center savings. So this is where it shows the cash flow. That's where we ended up the year. The picture of today, where we are today after having all the lockdown. And that's what I was saying. I'm really thankful to all the donors, which did not, this epidemic impact on our center through the Zoom classes. We see we are having more members attending and submitting their generous contributions. On checking, today we have 12,267. In savings, we have 646. So the total comes down cash available in the bank is 18,313. We still have 3 CDs. We renewed one, rolled one of the CD which was maturing last year. So that will be maturing now on 8/1, which is increased. It was 5,000, now it is 5,100. Another one is 5,200, also maturing this year in July. And the third one, which was for 10,000, is 10,435 now. So we have the 20,749 in sitting in logged in CDs. So this is the state of or health of the center financially, which I think we are in very close to the target. We wanted to keep like 3 months of expenses of the center in always in savings before we run the center. So I think we have enough money. I will be moving some money to the savings from the checking. So I'm happy to let everybody know that financially we are in a good state. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Naveen. Very nice report.
Thank you, Naveen, for compiling all these documents. If anyone has any questions, please ask them now. And thank you, Cindy, for setting up all that so that it's easier to follow and look at it.
And thank Tom Carr for his question. It was a very relevant question. I just would appreciate that those people who have questions wait until the presentation is finished before asking them.
Sure, anybody has any question can ask me. I will try to answer that.
I would like to add a note here, which Naveen was mentioning about the maintenance, and I think Elizabeth Jyotiji, she will present a report. But one of the maintenance works which we did was we removed the water heater which was in the basement, and we made a tankless water heater, install a new tankless water heater, which is a new technology, and I think it was $3,400 to $3,500. But it was a big fire hazard and big hazard to keep that water heater down in the basement. And so once we remodeled the kitchen, that pillar which we used to see in the kitchen was that exhaust. So once we removed that exhaust, we just took that out. So that was something good we did, and that was, I think, $3,500. So that I would like to just clarify that, just share that thought. All right. If nobody has any questions, I would like Cindy to present the Communications Committee report. Thank you.
Thank you, Shailesh. I'm going to put up on the screen just a few things to look at, but mostly so I have my notes. Let's see. Okay. Our communications, we reach you all and people who don't know that they want to be a part of us yet, but will, through 4 different ways. One is the email list and the mailing, the e-newsletter. We send one out once a week, and it's typically on Thursday. That's our target day. And it's just details about the coming weekend and what's coming up. And a link to that latest issue of the e-newsletter is also posted right away on the website and on the Facebook page. We currently have 661 subscribers to our e-newsletter, and actually the one of the 661 just subscribed this morning. Exactly a year ago, we had 621. So we've gained 40 new subscribers over the year. Actually more than that, excuse me, because we've of course had some people unsubscribe over the year. So, so probably about 50 new subscribers over the past year. And this is just one little analytic that I popped in here. This says that on average, 39% of the people who receive our e-newsletter every week actually open it. It says are highly engaged and often open and click your emails. So that's good. That's much better than the average for this sort of thing. So we'd like it to be more than 39%, but it's good. So the second way we reach people, and this is new. This sort of the pandemic sort of grew this into something really significant. We started a YouTube channel shortly before the pandemic. Actually, Sundar started it, and we were live streaming and putting things on the YouTube. But then once we started using Zoom, what we started doing is uploading the recordings of the Zoom classes and talks and also special events to our YouTube channel. And, about a year ago, we had about 6 subscribers to the YouTube channel. Now we have, let's see, we have 125 subscribers to our YouTube channel, which means if you subscribe to a YouTube channel, you get alerts whenever a new video is posted. And this is, again, just a snapshot analytic, but this says in the last 28 days, we got 523 views on our YouTube channel, 66.8 hours of watch time. And I just would also like to say that we've gotten quite a few really lovely emails from people who found the Vedanta Center and this content, the talks and classes, just by searching on YouTube or on Google and finding. And some of these people have come to our classes. So I'm really excited about, what's happened with the YouTube. It's really become a good way to post archives of the classes and talks, but also to invite new people to come and join us. The third way we reach out is our Facebook page. We currently have 554 followers, which is like subscribers. And just a little analytic, in the last 30 days, we've had 528 page likes. Okay. And events, Facebook events are just a way to promote certain things or highlight them. And I create an event for every talk and sometimes for classes. And this is just in the last 90 days, we've had 11 events. We've had 315 people reached by that. Last but not least, is our website, and it recently got some improvements and updates to the design and the functionality and the content. And, we're always trying to make it easier for people to find what they're looking for, but also improve the quality of the content that we're offering. And I know that a lot of you submitted some beautiful photos and memories of Swami Yogeshananda right after he left the body, and it's taken a couple of months, but we do have the memorial page for him up on the website now. And if you go to the website, it's right on the homepage. There's a link and you can click and you can go and read what people, some beautiful memories and see some really fun and beautiful pictures of Swami Yogeshananda. So that's there. And also we're slowly adding new content, some of which is old. I don't know who sent these to me, but it's some short videos of Swami Y doing not the chapel dedication, but the Tucker Center dedication, little videos. And so I'm going to be posting these. It's going to be our sort of founders page for Swami Yogeshananda. So stay tuned for that. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share, where we're at numbers wise and, the YouTube and how all this is bringing more people into classes and talks on Sunday. And it's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Very nice report.
Thank you, Cindy, for compiling all those numbers. Sometimes numbers do help to understand and what's going on the website and other YouTube channel, because YouTube has been, anything you would like to find, you find it on YouTube, and especially reaching our devotees, because back when I started coming to the center, there was no YouTube and it was really difficult to find any centers or any such places you would like to go and visit. But YouTube does help that. I would like to request, so thank you so much. I would like to request Elizabeth, to share her thoughts on what was any maintenance work, if she would like to share. Thank you.
Well, a couple of the major issues have already been mentioned, or ongoing maintenance projects, and that is the replacement of the old water heater and placing a tankless water heater, which has served the monastery very well.
Mm.
A tree was taken down on the Adrian Street side, and no trees fell, but we keep a really close eye on trees that are looking diseased or damaged and get things taken care of before a fall would happen. So we had a couple of, at least one was on the Adrian Street side, and it must have been there since the monastery building was built, because there is a notch. You can see there's a notch cut on the roof that accommodated this tree. So, but it was quite a large tree. It was sad to see it go, but it's time. And we've just continued to do regular maintenance. John Sabin has come and done some repairs of some roof leaking that was happening on the sun porch, and some redirecting of drainage from the gutters that go into the rain barrels. The rain barrels get easily moved off place. We have to keep a good eye on them and then drain the water out of them. So, and Sam Evans coated the chapel door with a protective coat. It looks very nice. And those are the primary things that I can think of that we've done, the center this past year. Just keeping an eye on everything and making sure that it gets taken care of.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions, any thoughts to share about what she said? You know,
I would
Sorry,
just
yeah.
like to say, add one little thing to what we've had devotees and others come and help even during the pandemic. And yesterday, Brad Byron, Brahmadas, came and mowed our entire property for us, mowed the lawns all around the house, and it just looks gorgeous. And
That's
I, and I,
very-
and I thank him very much for his effort to come yesterday and spend his entire afternoon uh, making sure that the lawns all around the house look nice.
Thank you. That's very nice of, to come and mow the lawn. Sometimes it's required. And what Elizabeth was saying about all the little things, we have to remember that the old building, monastery building, is quite old. It's almost 70 or 80 years old. So there are little things which keep on coming up, like roof maintenance and things like that. So I'm glad we have someone to look at it and take care of it, and then we have all these devotees coming in and helping us. So that's very nice. Thank you so much. Now I think we have Brother Shankara, who will offer Residence Minister's report and the vision for the center.
Thank you so much, Shailesh.
Please.
Cindy mentioned that this year, February the 18th, I think it was, that Swami Yogeshananda left the body. But Swami Yogeshananda is not lost to us. Many of us treasure sweet and powerful memories in our hearts. And as Swami Vivekananda said about those who lose their body, he said, they've not gone anywhere. Where would they go? There's only one existence. And so if you want to take the time, that memorial gallery and pages that Cindy created for Swami Yogeshananda is well worth your time. It's really very sweet and very, very powerful. So many people contributed lovely memories. And as Cindy pointed out, some really fun photographs. The Swami is and was a charming and engaging and powerful personality. And it shows in these pictures. So please do take time to visit that and enjoy yourself. And think of the Swami, whose momentum continues to animate this center. So with regard to a report for the past year, thinking about from last May to this year, the challenge was to keep our congregation together during the pandemic. We weren't able to meet face to face. How do we stay together? Well, the response was to use Zoom technology. We didn't know what would happen, but Cindy very capably adapted and set up Zoom for the center. And happily, it has worked very well. We also set up, as you can see behind me, a Zoomable shrine in the monastery. Same pictures that you see in the main shrine in the chapel, the vertical pictures, and then the pictures that you can see on the wall. Those are also saluted during arati, and so they're part of the shrine as well. So we created this Zoomable shrine so that we could hold classes, talks, and arati 6 days a week, 6 evenings a week, in a familiar setting. And people do seem to like it. But so having established these things, the Zoom technology, the Zoom capability, and this Zoomable shrine, how to use this way of being together? Well, the cue is in our opening prayer. The opening prayer, as you may recall, says, "May the divine being look over us lovingly as a mother and father. May the divine being support and nourish us as a mother and father. May we have the strength and skill to study together the art of spirituality." Well, some of you may have already noticed that the Hindu Trinity is gestured to in that prayer. May the divine being look over us lovingly as a mother and father. That is the creative power of Brahma. Mother and father are the creative power, mother especially. And so we are created by and abide in love. May they look over us lovingly as a mother and father. And if you want to read a beautiful evocation of this, you can read what Christ told Julian of Norwich, who was a Christian saint, a woman, an anchorite, who lived in Norwich, England, and that this universe was created of love and in love. It abides in love and is sustained by love, which leads to the second statement in the opening prayer. May the divine being support and nourish us as a mother and father. Of course, that points directly to the sustaining and protecting power of the second name in the Hindu Trinity, Vishnu, sustainer and protector of the universe. So we're first reminded of the loving and sustaining power that animates and creates the reality that we know. And then the transforming power, Shiva, is left to us. It's interesting. It's the transforming power is left to us to manifest. It says, may we have the strength and skill to study together the art of spirituality. Well, now here was the cue. Here was the real cue. Find a way for Zoom to bring us together rather than give us a sense of separation, how to be together. So the key word was together, participation and sharing. And that is what has brought us together. very powerfully as the weeks have passed. If you attend the talks or the classes, you'll see that participation and sharing is absolutely the foundation of what we do. We study together the art of spirituality. Why is that so powerful? Each of us can speak as the divine being. Now, you may think, what? How can this be? No, it's very simple. So it's not a top-down thing, not the talks, not the classes. Each of us can speak and share as the divine being. This is from the evening hymn, Breaker of this world's chain. Speech cannot hold thee, nor mind, yet without thee we think not, nor speak. In other words, the divine being cannot be held within any conceptualization that could be verbalized. And the mind, the finite mind, cannot contain the infinite being. Yet without thee we think not, nor speak. The living divine presence animates each of us, and so can and does speak through each of us, particularly when we're intentional about it. We have seen during Sunday talks and weekday classes, there is a strong, growing sense of togetherness and trust among us. Congregation members are willing to speak out, make comments, and ask questions and this is what is meant by studying together the art of spirituality. We do this together by sharing ourselves. And what is ourselves? As Yajnavalkya says so powerfully in the Brihadranya Upanishad, the self is what is the animating force within us. It is what we truly are. So as we share that power manifests. And we can see it in the way that these classes and talks go forward. It's not a top-down situation. Yes, there needs to be someone who leads the meeting and facilitates the discussion, but it is absolutely something that we are doing together. And this approach, as Cindy pointed out, is apparently working. During the pandemic, our congregation has actually grown, both locally, and we have been joined by people who live far from Atlanta, Pennsylvania, Colorado, Nevada, Wyoming, California. They actually do attend some of these classes and meetings. And there are others. I haven't identified where all of them are, but many of them are not local. And as Cindy pointed out, the center's YouTube recordings, especially the Sunday talks, are watched by spiritual seekers from around the world, Europe, the Middle East, India, and elsewhere, as well as the people within the United States. As she pointed out, our YouTube subscriber number is 125 and growing. Now, of course, that's a tiny fraction of what Sarva Priyananda's following is, and deservedly so. But we've only just begun. And the power, as I said, is coming from the congregation. That's why this is so strong. So as we transition back to face-to-face gatherings of the congregation, starting this coming July 4th, we will keep both the Zoom capability and the participation and sharing it has helped to generate among us. That is Cindy's commitment and my commitment. We'll find a way when we begin to do the talks in the chapel again. We will find a permanent way There'll be a little money invested in that, but it'll be a permanent Zoom capability coming from the chapel so that everything won't have to be done from here, here being where I'm sitting right now, as it is now. We probably will continue to do the classes from here, and those people who wish to attend the classes in person, this little shrine and my computer is in, just segues right into the fellowship hall. So people will be able to come and sit in the fellowship hall and participate that way. You'll see how it works if you come on July 4th. So we're very pleased that the congregation has stayed together, has grown, as I said, both locally and beyond Atlanta, and is apparently very committed to being part of what it is that's happening here. And that is such a joy and such, so inspiring to be with people in this way. So with that, as always, are there any comments or questions, anything from anyone about what was said and what it stirred in you?
I think it is a very good idea to keep the, the Zoom sessions going forward.
Thank you, Balaji. And as Shailesh pointed out, even for those people who live locally, it's much
Yes.
easier to attend than to drive long distances, even on a Sunday. It's not easy to drive 45 minutes an hour. People come from Roswell, they come from out in near Lawrenceville and so on and so forth. It's a good distance to drive. So it's a good way to participate. Thank you, Bala. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I certainly can, Tom.
Okay, so I think Zoom was wonderful in keeping us together during the pandemic. Otherwise everything would have just fallen apart, and it feels like a community, and I'm very grateful for that. But now it's not the same as being in person with people. And now that we can be together again, I'm really looking forward to coming back and, being with people face to face. And I hope that Zoom doesn't become a substitute for the face to face. And I know this is easy for me to say because I'm only a 10-minute drive from the center. And if I was an hour drive, I might feel differently. But I really hope we all, or those who can, keep showing up in person. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. And I've heard from any number of people that they're looking forward to getting together face to face in person again, not only sharing the time together in the chapel, but the time that we share together afterwards when we come into the monastery and we share a little something to eat, a little something to drink, and an hour or so together after the talk. And that was always, and I'm sure will again, be so enjoyable for those who choose to make the effort to come. But I cannot agree with you more, Tom. I'm very much looking forward to being in the presence, the physical presence of all these people. I'm just so glad that we managed to find a way to be together and actually grow together spiritually and even in terms of our numbers during this pandemic. And for those of you who do find it convenient to remain Zoom participants, as you can see, if you have been part of this over this, the way it's transpired over the last year, the way it's unfolded, you can share, you can be part of it. It's not the same, as Tom pointed out, that is face to face, but it certainly is uplifting and satisfying in its own way. Anything else from anyone?
Chakra.
Yes.
I want to thank you and everyone, because I live in Tennessee and I have felt very welcomed, very part of this community, and really are looking forward to continue to come through the Zoom meetings, because it's just too far. But I'm really grateful to have that option, and it sounds really exciting going forward. So thank you.
Dennis, I'm sorry I didn't mention Tennessee. Yes, of course. Dennis Hadley lives in Tennessee and is a regular participant in our and generous with our center as well, I have to say. So yes, we very much appreciate having Dennis as part of the congregation, and he is a good participant and not only a regular attender, but when he has something to say, he has the strength and skill to say it.
Well, thank you very much. And maybe one day we'll come down and have a vacation down there and go on a Sunday and meet everyone in person.
We will find a way to make you welcome and at home, Dennis.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
Another viewpoint is I'm an elderly person who doesn't drive anymore. So the Zoom is extremely convenient for me, and I appreciate it.
Molly, I am, thank you. I'm right with you. With macular degeneration, I can't drive anymore either. And if I had to go somewhere to be part of this, I wouldn't be able to do it unless somebody took me. So I'm really glad you're part of this, Molly. Thank you.
Brother Shankara,
Yes, Uma.
all beloved helpers, volunteers, all my dear friends of Vedanta, I'm so personally thankful to each one of you for contributing and really participating in the growth of Vedanta. And talking about Zoom session, even if I'm elderly and I can drive, still I can drive and I can do everything. Thank God. But even then, who likes to get ready to go out? So here I don't have to dress up. I don't have to care. I don't care what you do not see. So I can be casual at home and enjoy these sessions. Second point I wanted to make was, all bad things, seemingly bad things, and of course this pandemic had been devastating. But like we say that some things, under any calamity, there is some disguised blessing. And for our center, it's a blessing in disguise that all our volunteers whose faces I see here and I don't see, they have worked so hard, each one of us, so conscientious, so devoted, loyal, and faithful. And that cannot happen, Brother Shankara, without your being there as a source of inspiration. And you had, and amazingly, the way you have put together, all these things are not easy. And we appreciate deeply. And I cannot wait to see the improved website. And naive as I am technologically challenged. So forgive me if I ask a basic question. How do I subscribe to YouTube? Is it there, or do I have to do anything?
You just go to the YouTube channel, dear, and you just put in Vedanta Center of Atlanta in the Google window, Vedanta Center of Atlanta YouTube channel.
Okay.
It'll take you there. And then all you do is hit the subscribe button. You don't have to do anything else.
Or thank you, and I appreciate each one of you and your input. Thank you.
Well, your kind words are very gratefully received, Uma. But I mean it from the bottom of my heart that this is something we are doing together. And Uma is one of the great contributors to that.
I'm the onlooker. I'm not.
Well, no, she attends many of these talks and classes, and often has wonderful things to contribute to the group. So this is what we mean by sharing and doing this together. The mantra from here is, come, let us go forward together.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Shankara, for a wonderful report and the leadership you provide. Now that we have talked so much about Zoom, I would like to take a screenshot. So please smile, all of you.
All right.
Look up and smile, big smile.
All right. Very good.
Thank you. All right. So now we have the next point on the agenda is election of board members, and Tom Couch will take over from here.
Thank you, Shailesh.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The following slate is offered for election to the Board of Trustees for 2021-2022. Tom Couch, Shailesh Pawar, Nina Gutzetta, Elizabeth Yates, Navin Tyagi, and Balakrishna Newley to be reelected as trustees for 1 year. Following trustees previously elected with time remaining to serve: Cindy Craven, Sunjata Dhanabalan, excuse me for mispronouncing your name, I'm sure, for 2 years. Pranab Lahiri completed his 1-year tenure and chose not to reapply. That was sad for me, but I certainly understand it. He has been my rock for 25 years. He and I have served on the board, and without Pranab's guidance, with his patience, things might have been a lot different. And I really honor him and appreciate him, and will miss having him on the board. Okay, I've offered the slate, and now I can open it up. Nominations will be taken from the floor for election new board members. I'm not sure whether Brother Shankar would prefer to vet them first, but as part of the script that Shailesh provided me, we will open it up for anyone want to nominate or be nominated from the board, from the meeting.
All I would like to add to your nominations, Tom, is also Pranab will be missed. It's completely understandable why he wishes to retire from this position of responsibility. He's served, as you said, for decades, honorably, faithfully, from the heart, and we'll miss him. But God bless him, and may he go forward in the loving embrace of the divine parents.
I believe you'll find his name on the articles of incorporation for
Yes,
the
indeed.
Vedanta Center of Atlanta. He was our first treasurer. The first contribution was $0.25. I will really miss his help and guidance. There being no nominations from the floor, a call is made for nominations from the floor. If I need I guess a second for nomination for this Board of Trustees, and a discussion if need be. Shailesh, I don't know what we do if nobody seconds the motion that the slate be our Board of Trustees for 2021-22.
Yeah, before that, I would just like to mention, like everybody said, it's already mentioned that Pranabji decided to step down from the board. And so obviously there is one more position open in the board. And I would like to see if anybody would like to serve the board, because like what if you followed the meeting, you can see that this is a voluntary work and so many people have contributed, not on board, but just behind the scenes. So on being board is what it does is that it just helps to bring everybody together with a different opinion. Like if there is some task which we need to look at it, if there are people from different mindset, different backgrounds, professional backgrounds, it just gives you an idea. It helps to think and help us to look at a problem from a different perspective, not a problem but a situation or something. So I would like to request if anybody would like to be on the board, and usually it's for I think for 3 years, but that's not the rule we need to follow.
Shailesh, may I make a suggestion?
Yes, please.
First of all, being a member of the congregation, as well as in the position I hold, I second the nomination of the slate that Tom put forward. And I'd like to suggest that anyone who does wish to serve on the board contact you privately so that you can discuss with them what the responsibilities of the board are and make a decision, because then you can, as your powers and responsibility as president, you can appoint them for a year and then see how they like it and see if they then want to be elected in the next election for the full 3-year term that a board member first serves.
Okay.
Brother
Thank you.
Shaka, thank you for that. I think that's a wise way to proceed. Are you okay with that, Shailesh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay, that I take as a second. We can take a vote, will be taken by show of hands. So if you approve this slate of officers for 2021-22, indicate it by showing your hand. Well, some of these are I can't see. I assume that it passed. Thank you. That's it, Shailesh.
Thank you. I would like to thank all. I'm seeing now, because once we started the meeting, there were screens, the faces popping up. But I would really like to thank everyone. Some of you I know, some of you I don't know. But thank you so much for attending the meeting. Haimaji, I can see here, Swam Prabhaji, Laurie, and Sujataji. I don't see much her, but Umaji and Bhagirathji, everyone here. Robert is here, Molly. So thank you so much for attending the meeting. I would like to just make a one note. Though this, we usually talk about the events from the past, but what like Brother Shankara talked about was passing over of Swami Yogeshanandaji to Ramakrishna Loka. And then we had this wonderful memorial service on, I think it was March 13th. And I would really like to thank, it was such a wonderful service. And I would like to thank all those people who attended that memorial service and contributed. And it went on for 2 hours and it was so nice. And I hope that's recorded on YouTube or wherever it's available.
Yes,
so,
yes, it is, Shailesh.
Yeah, so this is an exception, like to include that part, but I would really like to thank all those devotees. And I personally really liked it, and we'll cherish that event and that the Zoom session we had. So having said that, anything else anybody would like to say or talk about? I mean, we don't have to be so formal, or there is a framework we offer to talk, but you can just open up and just have thoughts if you would like to. I see Jillian being busy on phone. Sorry. Yeah, please.
Can I make one point?
Yes, please.
I think we have to slightly give more attention to Zoom versus personal presence, because there is another distinct advantage of personal presence which needs to be highlighted, because it brings up interpersonal relationship, camaraderie, and I would say that with so many such personal sessions, we never have degenerated it into a meaningless dialogue. So at the end, when they talk is very well used. Secondly, we can help each other in some personal ways also, which is not going to be possible on the Zoom, which will always fearlessly put when you are person to person. So I think that whenever not possible, yes, if you cannot come, Zoom is wonderful. But on the other hand, whenever possible, we should collect together so that there is a congregation and comradeship. The second thing I was thinking, that one thing good I observed, that we are not only remaining in the past, the remote past of what we were in India, but we also freely discuss the current issues. For example, the COVID-19 has been repeatedly discussed, and there has been a very live participation of all the devotees on that topic. So we have to keep on expanding the spectrum of what we are discussing to keep ourselves current, so that we feel that we are not living in the past, but we are constantly digging and we are constantly staying update, so that we feel that we talk about something related to our current life also. So these are the points I wanted to make.
Thank you, Bhagarath.
Another,
Heard and understood.
another thing I appreciate so much is Brother Shankara's bringing in a variety of other religions and the concept of how the Vedanta works with them. So it makes it easier for people to relate who maybe were not born in India and raised with that culture. So I very much appreciate that.
Well, thank you so very much. And clearly, when Vivekananda said, we revere all the world's religions, they are all true paths to realization. That was direction to us. It wasn't just a comment he was making, he was giving us direction. And so my beloved teacher, Swami Prabhavananda, wrote one of the most important books, I believe, that a Christian could ever read. And that is the Sermon on the Mount according to Vedanta. And when I read that book, I understood the Christianity in which I was raised much better than I did before. So yes, we need to adhere to what Swami Vivekananda said. Thank you, Molly.
Brother Shankara,
Yes, dear.
just like Swamiji has said that we can use any one of the 4 yogas or all 4 to achieve our goal of realizing God, we can use either Zoom, in person, YouTube, newsletter, and we even have a 5th Facebook to partake of the lovely offerings of the center. And when we meet in person, in addition to the camaraderie and the sharing of philosophies, we also share recipes. We can't miss that, the food and the recipes.
Yes, indeed, we do. And some delicious recipes are shared indeed. And we're looking forward to making that table a reality again. And by the way, just because it's been mentioned a number of times about volunteers and volunteering.
Yeah.
The two first opportunities for those who are able to do so to get together will be June 19th and June 26th, where we help get the center all spiffy and prepared for the congregation to meet together in style again on July 4th. So we'll have two Save Us Saturdays in June, not the normal second Saturday, but the third and fourth Saturdays of June, the 19th and the 26th, so that we can gather together, shine this place up, get it all just ship shape, as they used to say in the military, get it ship shape and ready to receive everyone in style. So please do attend if you can on the 19th or the 26th. 10 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. You don't have to stay for the whole time. Anytime you can offer is gratefully received. If you're here at lunchtime, you'll be fed a nice lunch.
Question, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
Okay, since as far as I know, all of us have been vaccinated, do we really need to wait till July 4th?
Tom, that's the decision I made. I'm sticking with it.
Okay. Just as new medical information comes in, though, think about it.
Tom,
I appreciate your leadership, Tom.
Tom, it's just that we have to plan things in advance, and it may seem like no big deal to change, all of a sudden, but it means changing communications, confusing people, and also, maybe all of us on the screen are vaccinated, but maybe we're not. I think this has been very, it's already controversial whether this news from the CDC was released too soon. So I think giving it till July is probably the wiser thing to do. And playing it by ear costs us time and money to change things.
Agree. Safer.
And
Better
I would
to
like
be safe.
I would like to mention one point is that, see, the vaccination was open for older people much earlier, but for younger people very recently. So my son, my 15-year-old son got vaccinated yesterday. I took him and he got vaccinated yesterday. So we'll have kids also coming in. So I would say that we should have a second shot and then 2 weeks after that. So that would take us in July, I would say,
Yeah.
roughly something like that, And then I don't know. I mean, we might have a variant. I don't know. I don't want to go there, but we'll just take a tangent.
Better to be safe than sorry.
But Tom, if you want to catch up with me, I'll come. I got vaccinated about a month. We'll catch up, over a cup of coffee or maybe something else at the center.
I'll leave the serious decision making to the people that actually do the work.
Exactly.
Anything else from anyone?
Yes, looking forward to July 4th, seeing everybody in person. What about the mask? Is it optional or do we have to, what is the?
No, as far as we're concerned at this point, by July 4th, anyone who comes should be fully vaccinated and past their waiting period after the second vaccination. So there'll be no need for masks.
Okay. I just wanted to confirm.
Thank you, Neera. If people wish to wear masks, that will be honored. Everyone has to obey the dictates of their own conscience, of their own buddhi about this. So there's no hard and fast rules.
Yes, and we want to enjoy all the delicious food. So
yes.
We have to take the mask off anyway.
Exactly.
So Shankara?
Yes, dear. Lori.
Excuse me. So everybody who comes on July 4th should be fully vaccinated and have had a 2-week period. Okay.
That's what we have been publishing on the website, on the Facebook page and in the newsletter that anyone who attends on June 19th, June 26th, or July 4th should be fully vaccinated. That is to say, having had, if their regimen requires both shots and the waiting period after the shot or shots.
That's great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Brother Shankar,
Yes, dear.
there is such a changing scenario in what is happening and what is going to happen to this epidemic. It's a good idea to keep changing if change demands. And it could very well be. For example, the CDC's recommendations, although strong, have been tremendously challenged by a number of large organizations. So when that changes, we have to stay safe for sure. And it's a good idea to keep posting if there is any change which is necessitated by a new emergence of complications.
You may count on it, Bhagarat, and thank you for saying that. One of the reasons that was put out to July 4th, as far as July 4th, was so that most of these issues should be resolved by then, according to the information we're receiving from the federal administration, from the CDC, from Georgia's health authorities, and from the advice and counsel of the MDs that are part of the congregation, including that you just gave us. And so we will be thoughtful about all of this. We do not want to risk anyone's health. We will, by all means, be thoughtful about any new information, and we're monitoring it very carefully. Thank you, Bhagarat.
I'd like to say, and I haven't even run this by Brother Shankara or anybody, but I've been thinking about it since we're getting ready to start meeting in person next month. A lot of people who come to the center don't come to the meetings on Zoom. They don't check the website. They don't have they don't check. They just come. So I think we need to have just a notice posted that changes as needed at the chapel door and at the monastery door about, if you're fully vaccinated, come right on in. You don't need a mask. But if you're not, please get vaccinated and come back or something. We'll talk about the wording, but just for people who have either forgotten, aren't sure, don't know, who just show up, we'll have whatever the current guidelines are. For the
I have at least one close friend who has said she will not get vaccinated.
Too.
And so that's at least, unless she changes her mind, I've told her she may not come here. So anything else from anyone? This is a hot potato. There's no two ways about it. And we're doing our best to handle it carefully and thoughtfully.
Thank you.
I don't know if this is relevant, but are there any outside workers that come into the center, not devotees or workers, that come for the maintenance or anything? And if they have been in the center recently and not been vaccinated, I mean, I don't know.
No one comes to serve the center who has not been vaccinated. And in most cases, they also wear a mask when they're here.
I see. I mean, like the maid or anything, like, somebody like that, the maid service or.
Yes, well, Pearlie, our house cleaning lady, has been fully vaccinated, yes.
Okay.
But
as have the yard people, Sam and Jacob, as has Brad Byron, Brahmadas, when he came yesterday. He's been fully vaccinated and so on. So we're about to have some plumbers in to check the well overflow pump, and we'll make sure that they are appropriate
Okay, thank you.
Okay, if I think if you had discussion, one more point I would like to add is before we offer, ask Brother Shankara to offer a closing prayer, is that there is a risk of all this coming to the center in person. If you go to a store or anywhere, so that just needs to be understood. We just cannot monitor everything, but that's just a part of it right now. Thank you.
And thank you for bringing that out, Shailesh. We're doing our very best
exactly
to handle this hot potato appropriately, but there is risk. That cannot be denied.
Yeah. Thank you. So it's 12:30, and I'll request Brother Shankara to offer a closing prayer so that we can adjourn the meeting after that. Thank you.
Thank you, Shailesh. We continue to honor Swami Yogeshananda and his wonderful translation of this ancient prayer for peace, which is so badly needed everywhere. Let there be peace in outer space.
Let there be peace in outer space.
Let there be peace in the sky, on the earth, and in the waters.
Let there
be peace in the sky, on the earth, and in the waters.
Let there be peace in the herbs, the plants, and the trees.
Let there be
peace in the herbs and the plants and the trees.
May the gods be peaceful.
May the gods be peaceful.
May the whole universe be pervaded by peace.
May the whole universe be pervaded by peace.
Let this infinite universal peace prevail throughout my being.
Let
this infinite universal peace prevail throughout my being.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto us and to all beings everywhere. And I'm going to close this with this also. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Durga, Durga, Durga. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be cheerful. May you have peace of mind. May you go forward in the loving and protective embrace of the Father, Mother, Divine Being. Until we see one another again, thank you so very much for attending. Thanks for being part of this. And thanks for doing all that you do to make your life a more inspiring and spiritual one, and radiating that what you do out into the world. It is so vital. If you want to know what I mean by that, read Swami Vivekananda's Powers of the Mind. What we are radiating is far more vital to the world than we perhaps understand. And so the Powers of the Mind, Swami Vivekananda gives us some insight into what it is that, because we are not separate. We seem to be separate, but we are not separate. Until we see one another again, beloved ones, thanks again for coming and participating.
Thank you, Brother Shankara. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone. See you soon.
Yeah.
Soon. Bye.
Bye.